Hello, BD Research Club viewers. Last week we told you about Nikola Tesla's fascinating life story from his childhood and youth. We left the link to the first video in the description section. Now let's talk about what Nikola experienced after he came to America. Nikola Tesla was very enthusiastic. He could realize the projects in his head with this successful man. Tesla was amazed that Edison was able to accomplish so much without education. When Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison met for the first time, Tesla gave Edison a letter of recommendation written by Charles Batchelor. The letter in Edison's hands reads, "Mr. Edison, I have known two geniuses in this world. One is you, and the other is the young man standing before you." After this impressive letter, Tesla had the opportunity to explain his ideas to Edison. Tesla talked about the technology of the future, alternating current. Edison, on the other hand, was not at all happy with what was being said, because Edison's company was built on direct current. Such a huge system built on direct current could not be threatened by something new like alternating current. Edison also knew that Tesla's ideas made more sense. But the great system that had been built could not be jeopardized. DC was not the right way to transmit electricity over long distances. It made DC more expensive because a lot of energy was lost through leakage. Against this attitude of Edison, Tesla began to revise the primitive dynamos of direct current. However, he also continued to work on alternating current. While working on DC dynamos, he had the opportunity to observe the problems and primitive methods more clearly. For 1 year, he began to work intensively, as he had done during his years of study. He slept for a few hours a day without taking any time for himself, and devoted all the rest of his time to his studies. During this period of intense work, he designed 24 different machines, and these machines were much better than the others. Edison's company grew and got rid of primitive methods. Edison also appreciated Tesla's hard work. Tesla, who expected to be rewarded for his efforts, was completely disappointed. While waiting for Edison to give him the promised $50,000, Edison's reply was, "You have not yet grasped the American sense of humor." $50,000 was really a fortune at that time. This money, which Tesla intended to use for his own studies, was never given to Tesla by Edison. After this humiliation, Tesla resigned from his positions in Edison's companies. Tesla's work and reputation grew. Investors advised Tesla to start his own company. In order to realize alternating current, Tesla founded his own company, Tesla Electric Light, with the support of his investors. What the investors expected from Tesla was not work on alternating current. The working idea that the investors had in mind was the development of lighting on the streets and in factories. Tesla got to work quickly. He produced arc lamps that were safer, more durable, simpler, and more economical than those on the market. The investors' wish had come true. Tesla's reward was a share in the company. Tesla was left with shares. The company was new, and its reputation was quite low. In addition, there was an economic crisis in the country. In short, the shares in his hands were not of much use to Tesla. The years between 1886 and 1887 were economically very difficult for Tesla. He was hospitalized for the second time, and he had nothing. He could not find a job, even as an engineer. He went to the workers who were digging holes in the streets of New York and said that he wanted to work. They were surprised and laughed at the offer of this man who dressed differently from them. Then they gave Tesla a shovel and let him work. One of his old friends introduced him to Mr. Brown, a director of the Western Union Telegraph Company. Brown helped found a new company called Tesla Electric in 1887. In the new company, Tesla began to work on the AC motor he had planned in his youth in Budapest. Tesla's workshop was very close to Edison's workshop. He applied for patents for 40 different projects that he prepared in this company. Since all his inventions were quite different for that time, he had no difficulty in obtaining patents. Tesla's work attracted the attention of George Westinghouse, one of the most famous investors of the time. Westinghouse offered $60,000 for 40 patents. He also offered $2.5 for every energy sold. That was a lot of money at that time. Thomas Edison went crazy when he heard about the deal between Tesla and Westinghouse. Tesla was now an enemy to Edison, who had to be stopped. The dangers of AC had to be explained to the public. And a smear campaign was started against Tesla. The idea that AC was very dangerous compared to DC was tried to be imposed on society. Edison gave 25 cents to children who brought cats and dogs to Edison's laboratory in New Jersey. These animals were killed by the alternating current. His main idea was to prevent these dangers observed in animals before they occurred in humans. Edison wanted to go further and show the direct harm of AC to humans. It was impossible to prove this with an innocent person, but he could do it on a criminal sentenced to death. After obtaining the necessary permits, William Kemmler was executed by alternating current in the New York State Penitentiary on August 6, 1890. Despite these smear campaigns, many scientists preferred to stand by Tesla. Respected scientists have come to the conclusion that AC or DC is also dangerous if the necessary precautions and measures are not taken. Not getting the results he wanted, Edison started a new game. The rumors on Wall Street were getting louder. Rumors grew that Westinghouse was mismanaging its stock and going under. The stock plummeted. Westinghouse began looking for investors. He had no trouble finding them, but the investors had one demand. There were conditions to get rid of the copyright agreement with Tesla. Although he did not look favorably on this request at first, he was forced to do so at this point. He asked Tesla to give up his copyrights. Tesla accepted. You can't even imagine how much fortune Tesla gave up when he accepted this offer. In 1893, Westinghouse's company won the bid to open the world's Columbian Exposition in Chicago. Thousands of people filled the plazas, and Grover Cleveland, the President of the United States at the time, watched from the rostrum. When President Grover Cleveland pressed the button, the entire fairground was illuminated in a spectacular display. It was the largest and most impressive light show ever performed. Now everyone had a chance to experience Tesla's alternating current. After this impressive demonstration, the public was talking about Tesla, and the New York Times wrote about him. The Prince of Montenegro honored Tesla with the Order of the Eagle. The Institute of Electrical Engineers awarded medals. In short, Tesla's alternating current defeated Edison's direct current. With these successes, Tesla resumed his intensive work in his workshop. He spent all his time in his workshop. On one of the rare nights when he was not in his workshop, a fire broke out in his workshop. The 6-story building was literally destroyed. All the projects he was working on were destroyed in the fire. His notes were gone. This fire took up a lot of space in newspapers in many parts of the world. Was this fire an accident or a conspiracy? The answer has never been found. Do not forget to share your opinion with us in the comments section. Tesla, who had invested all his savings in his workshop and saw it reduced to ashes overnight, was on the verge of bankruptcy. But it was not in his nature to give up. He found a new place to live and resumed his work. He accelerated his work on wireless power transmission. He also worked on radio and radio receiver problems. While working in Colorado, he began to record rhythmic sounds with a radio receiver. These signals were very regular, and he thought they were messages from other planets. But much later it was realized that these sounds were waves coming from the stars. In 1901, Tesla and J.P. Morgan made a deal. J.P. Morgan was one of the biggest bankers of the time. With this agreement, Tesla started to build the Wardenclyffe Tower. With this tower, Tesla had the idea of wirelessly distributing electricity to the world. However, he did not tell his close circle or his investor J.P. Morgan. Everyone thought this tower was a global radio project. But as the process dragged on, things did not go as planned. As the process dragged on, he had to explain to Morgan what his real aim was. The idea of wireless electricity did not sit well with Morgan, and eventually, Morgan withdrew his support from Tesla. Tesla once again faced financial problems. The Wardenclyffe Tower, the project of the century, and its land were sold against his debts. Tesla had no more power. He devoted himself to his pigeons. Tesla, who had dedicated his life to his projects, had never married. As a result, he was alone, and had no more projects. He only had his pigeons. He often fed and cared for the pigeon, which he believed had a special bond with him. It is even said that the pigeon declared its love for him a few minutes before his tragic death. He tried to spend the last periods of his life with bank loans. Tesla played a major role in the creation and development of alternating current, radio, and control systems, Tesla coil, neon and fluorescent lamps, induction motor, Tesla turbine, laser, radar, MRI machine. Although he should have had an incredible fortune, he spent his last years in poverty. Tesla died of heart failure at the New Yorker Hotel at the age of 87. The world would not be the same without Tesla's brilliant mind and relentless pursuit of knowledge. He was like a superhero of science, always fighting for a better future. So the next time you switch on a light bulb or wirelessly charge your phone, take a moment to appreciate the genius of Nikola Tesla, the man who electrified the world. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Share your ideas and thoughts about the video in the comments section. You can also turn on notifications to be alerted to more content and become part of our community. See you in the next video.